In this art break, co-host AC sits down with Seattle's hip-hop duo Black Stax to talk about their new mixtape, Coin. They also have a great conversation about community and the power of creative process. But before that conversation, we have a quick art break that you can do from your couch, your yard, or on a walk around your neighborhood. We have all heard about or experienced the impacts of rising cost of living and Seattle's housing crisis. Even when conditions may force you to move neighborhoods or even cities, finding a place where you can feel at peace is important for our mental health and well-being. For this art break, all you have to do is take a minute to notice something you love or appreciate about where you live. It could be your favorite place in your house, your backyard, or the streets around your home. When you see something that makes you smile or feel at peace, take a picture. Just this simple act can remind you that even though things may not be perfect about wherever you are, remembering to take a few moments for yourself is important to help you feel grounded and stable. To appreciate the little things and to claim any small flashes of happiness that you can. AC took some photos of some of his favorite places in and around where he lives. What treasures can you find around your home? And now, check out the conversation with Jace, Ecaj, and Felicia Loud of Black Stax, and check out their most recent project called Coins.
I'm here with Black Stax, amazing local dude. I've been a fan for a long time. Seen and heard lots of music coming from out of your camp. You have a new mixtape out, Black Stax. We have Jace, Ecaj, and Felicia Loud. You have a new mixtape out called Coins. What should old fans like me or people who are just new to the Black Stax world, what should they expect from this project?
Great question.
It is. Old fans should, I think archiving is really important because you get the dynamics of where Jace came from, the dynamics of where I came from, the collective of where we are now and where we're going. So I think they can look forward to just the journey. We say that we give a vibe to when you experience us live, but there's also a journey that people go through when you listen to the song after song, and just kind of like, all, I think, I'm not going to say all because I can't speak for all, but a lot of times musicians speak through their journey. And so I think that that's what they can, but I think that it's very important to always understand that that as a viewer, your new, what is it called when you experience something new?
New experience.
Your new discovery of an artist is just your new discovery, but the experience of them and the past of them is not. Nobody really comes to this journey new. They've been doing it for a while. Every song that you've heard has been past. So I would say, I would just in that, go into the journey of our past to see the journey of the possibilities of our future.
That's great. Yeah. The timeline doesn't stop, right? So if I'm new, I'm just jumping on the train as it's moving past, right? So it's coming from somewhere and it's going somewhere else. Yeah. I was telling you earlier, I drove down to Portland and back, and I played Coins several times each way. Is it not everybody's music you can listen to repeatedly like that? Is it something that you consciously, as you're creating, you're thinking about I mean, how does that happen? Like some people, it'll be a song and I love it, but I don't want to hear it again for some time. You know what I mean? Like, but y'all, you know, it wasn't something I could get tired of. I'm trying to learn the hooks, you know, before I get home, so I can sing along, and you know, all these things like this. Is it something consciously that you as you're creating that you're thinking about that, or is it just something that just maybe it's just a me thing? I don't know.
Well, one, we'll take that as a compliment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just push play and let it ride, because I think that's been the issue with music for a minute, is that, you know, we haven't been able to listen to whole conceptual pieces. I think when you sit down, you want a conceptual piece, even if it's a mixtape. You want it to be conceptual. You want the sounds to, you know, go together, collaborate. You want to be able to vibe with it and, you know, hear emotional, but then go into In It to Win, right? And then take In It to Win and go into Buffalo Soldier, and Buffalo Soldier, you know, you go into Hustle Backwards. Like, we want it to be a full experience. And so for us, when we put pieces together, we're very conscious, particularly with this one, about flow. Like, because a lot of these songs, you know, as Felicia likes to say, is, you know, it was pre-pandemic, it's during pandemic, and as we're figuring out what we're doing coming out of pandemic.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that very clearly. And it stuck out because it was like, that's true. And that's the journey of what she's talking about, right? Ultimately, that you're on with us, right, at that time. So I always like to look at pieces two ways. Listen to it from beginning to end, and listen to it from end to beginning.
Mm.
How does it flow, right? Can I do that? If I played it the other way around, what would my vibration be? Would I want to turn it off and skip songs? Or would I really that be the same kind of energy, the same flow? So when we put it together, it was just about making sure that everybody was able to, you know, get a feel for what Black Stax is about. Because as we talk about, we stack music.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna have just one sound. You're gonna have a lot of different feelings, a lot of like combination of sound. So
Right. You talked earlier about the Black Stax live experience, and I feel like this project Coins, it really feels, you know, I know it was you recorded in a building somewhere, I assume, but it really felt like you know how it feels to be in the audience and watching y'all rock a stage. Is how do you capture that while you're indoors in you know, behind a microphone and there's no crowd there? How do you capture that same energy?
You know, self energy is captured through your, I would say, you know, through your emotional connection to the sound, the sound of what Greg Fields brings to the music, the lyrics that Jace brings to an MC, you know, the vocals that I bring to the melody, you know, and we have Sydney, who is on keys, but her participation is now that live version. And so, you know, capturing it is just about, you know, every moment has its moment and then it's gone. And the wonderful thing about recording is that you capture that moment in the recording. So a lot of times we may not correct the imperfections because of the moment and the flow of like what happens next. Because if you try to capture the perfection, you lose the moment. So I think that it has to do with that, because we're not so self-conscious. Now I'm a little bit self-conscious because I will say the wrong word, pronounce the wrong word. You know, the lyric, the harmony won't sound the way it needs to sound. But you know, Jace can remind me that, you know, that it's not about being perfect, because when and life are perfect. And I think that that's one of the things that people vibe from us, is that our imperfections are perfectly there, and that's normal. That is so normal, and I think that people like I think that now people are aware that yes, we could go back and we could correct, but the fact that we don't is like, come on. The vibe is there. What we gonna do?
What you
We
gonna do?
gonna take away the vibe now?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's important too, just like the vocals being an instrument. Right. A lot of times people get up there and they always think about the words, but not the instrumentation of how the words are being delivered. Right.
Yeah.
How something is given to you. It really does matter how the presentation is. You know, and a lot of times it don't matter how. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. You know what I'm saying? And not only of judgment, but it's okay. Here, I'm gonna give you something that when you come to a Black Stax live show, it's never the same. So how you get it on the record is how you get it on the record. So when you come to the show and you get it different, you can say, "Man, that's different." It's always different. Go to the next one.
Yeah.
It's different, right? Because that's the style that we want to have. We want to know what we're doing, of course, but how we give it to you is different because the energy of each audience is different.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go to one audience and expect that audience to be the same audience everywhere you go. If you do that, you're cheapening the experience of the audience. That currency is now diminished because they're gonna do what that audience did. They're gonna say what that audience said. And it becomes robotic. This is rhythmic.
Yeah.
It's rhythmic, you know?
Yeah, I think, you know, it all, yeah, I agree. And also it's like, then it becomes the artist expecting to get something, right? And I think as artists, when we show up ready to give, we get more. I feel like,
and that's the balance. Like when we do our shows, we always say it's a conversation with an audience. You're not there to be at the museum staring at us and just look at them. You're supposed to enjoy yourself just whenever you decide to move. Look at who's next to you, how they move, and how they nod your head. You feel like scream, sing along, throw your hands up. All of those things, it's a communication for us with the audience. So when each audience communicates different, each venue is different. You go to some spots, man, they grimy as hell. You know, that audience is looking at you until Felicia Loud starts singing. Then they start moving a little bit. But that's a different experience. They might not put their hands up. You might not even ask them to. But we understand where that groove is, where they found their niche in that experience and conversation with Black Stax.
That's what's up. Okay, that's good. That's a good segue. You know, talking about what we're doing here at Build Art Break. We're trying to. We sent out a bunch of art kits to the community. We've been putting some videos on YouTube. Just some quick art lessons, things people can do at home to kind of take a break and chill. You know, all the positive things that art brings to us. Whether we're an artist or whether we're just doing something creative, and I think, you know, that your testimony about not needing things to be perfect is right in line with what we're talking about. It's like try some things. You know, if you need to be perfect, you're not going to try anything new. And so you know, so we've been just encouraging folks in the community to do creative things. Especially, you know, this past couple years have been real heavy for people, and people need some ways to soothe themselves, to heal themselves. I think you said it earlier, Jace, about it being medicine. So, you know, from your experience, what are some of the benefits to being creative, either for yourself or for others? You know, socially, mentally, emotionally. What are some of the benefits to being creative for you all?
You know, creativity is not limited to people who categorize themselves as artists. Every human being is an artist in their own way of living. Period. The way they dress, glasses they wear, you know, and how they walk. You know, what it is that they eat. You know, how it is they speak to one another, and show Say the question again.
It's right there.
Yeah. What are some of the benefits to creativity?
Some of the benefits is that the benefits of being creative. You know,
Or what does it do for you?
well, I mean, because being creative is being, because you know sometimes you don't create creativity, being creates creativity. So but when it comes down to like a question of the art form, the benefit is that you get to express, in terms of like this music, you can express uh, feelings that may not be yours, but that may be socially things that you don't want to talk about yourself, but you notice about other people that may need your assistance because you know you have a platform to be able to assist. And creativity is sometimes a form of assistance. And so, when you're able to understand that there's nothing in this world that doesn't grow from assistance, nothing. There's absolutely nothing that does not exist because of assistance.
Right.
And so when you come from that level, the benefit is to know that there is a growth after that. Period. Whether it's from this pandemic that we're living in, whether it's from what we had, from the acknowledgments that we're now seeing within this experience, whether it's from prior to, everything has the benefit of understanding that we need to go forward for the future, because we ain't gonna know it in the next 80 years. We're not gonna see it.
Yeah.
So being able to contribute as you live your creativity in the here and now is the benefit. You gotta be happy to wake up. That's the benefit.
Yeah. Somebody once asked me why did I write when I was writing a lot of poetry, why do I write poetry? And I said at that time, it's kind of what you're speaking to, it's like having the recipe for oxygen. You know what I mean? Like it's you get to live not just your own life, but you get to live all these other lives too, because you're really paying attention to what's going on with people emotionally, mentally, and trying to understand it, and then process it and put it back out in a way other people might understand it differently. And so it's really without doing that, I would just feel tightness, I guess, in my chest. I wouldn't be able to live and breathe. So it's sort of like, it's like having a recipe for oxygen is how I think of it. It's like, it's just a necessity.
I like that.
Yeah. I mean, you could, being the voice of the voiceless is so dope.
Yes.
People that have something to say.
Yeah.
A lot of these things that are happening on the planet that we live on. Right. Like if we look at just, the so-called justice system in America, which is a joke off the top, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, they think every time they, America gets accused of something, kind of laughs it off. Oh yeah, what the hell, who are you to hold me to? But like, we're in a system where we're watching a lot of things happen where voices are being shut down. They're being closed off. We're not really getting the information that's necessary to survive that oxygen. And, to be able to do that, it's refreshing. It re-inspires you to remember why you're alive.
Yeah.
Like, what is my contribution? At the end of the day, what is my contribution? When I leave this, what has been my contribution? Like I had a lot of kids. Didn't take care of none of them. You know what I'm saying? Okay, wow, great contribution, partner.
Yeah, right.
I was in this position. I held this position for 20 years. Okay, and what other young person did you help? Did you mentor? Did you inspire? Did you give an opportunity to? Did you place in a position? Not just one. If you've been there 20 years, don't tell me one.
Right.
You helped? How many do you still stay in contact with? How many, if they seen you in the street right now, would punch you in the face? You know what I'm saying? Rob your ass, you know. I mean, for real. But
Yeah.
this is reality. And so, you know, when you're able to do something creatively that connects, it just means so much. Because you're touching many different styles of people. And you're speaking for the voice of the voices. And if you take it,
Yeah.
then you become satisfied. You know, be able to say I'm a creative. That's very satisfying.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I have a quick list of questions here. I'm not asking them all, but you guys because you all are answering most of them before I get to ask them. Look, what the next one was going to be right here. You both are MC. Jace, you MC. Felicia, you singer and you act. You just did a project on stage very recently, right? Or is it still going on? Anyway, so I was also thinking about you two as mentors and teachers, which I know you both are very active in. And I was going to ask, why is it so important to be involved in mentoring and teaching? But you couldn't answer. But given that it's the question, is there anything else you want to add to that? Like,
I struggle between the two, mentoring and teaching.
uh-huh.
I think that um, when I have the opportunity to be able to listen to my partner before we go into a meeting while he's mentoring, and I'm talking about Jace, right? So
Mm,
there's a difference because he is guiding students through what's going to be a long-term um, existence that they have a check-in. And sometimes as a teacher, um, you go from year to year with students because you have, and it's not a knock, it's just what they have to do. Students
yeah.
graduate to a next level and they go on. And it's a mentor that says, when you graduate or when you go to the next level, let's keep having conversation. So I think that that's one thing that I've learned that is very important. I would love to be able to continue the process of mentoring because as you learn, as you learn, you give. And so I think that that's the difference in mentoring because sometimes have to, teachers in the United States that are given a curriculum stick to the curriculum. So they teach the curriculum, but they don't go on to the, uh, the mentorship that needs to happen after the curriculum. So, you know, I would say that um, uh, for me, um, mentoring would be something that I welcome. However, I tend to uh, I tend to have a habit of moving on and telling students, "You're doing a great job." When they're doing a great job, when they're doing a great job, it's like keep doing what you're doing, stay positive, stay in your lane, and keep doing what you're doing because giving also mentoring, giving young people the room and then saying, oh, and then when they say, I've ran into a situation where I need some mentorship,
Mm,
being the wonderfulness of stepping in, the creativity of like every person has differences, but there's also similarities. We're all born on the same moon and the same sun. So there's not too many things that we're going to deal with that are not have not already been dealt with. But we have to deal with them delicately for the mentorship, for the creativity, for the young person that we're being involved with. So that would be my answer because I lost my train of thought.
no, that's great. Like I said, you guys keep on talking, and I'm gonna keep crossing questions off my list because it's like it's a great conversation. Though I really, especially for you've been around the town like me for a long time and seeing y'all and never really sitting. I mean, I sat down with Jace when we worked together at Creative Justice and Beyond, and we had conversations like this. But I love talking to artists and see how they think about things and just getting to hear a little bit more about what they do and why they do it. And it's a chance for me to just express my love and appreciation for all the benefits that I've gained from even way back, thinking like Black Stax music feels so much about positivity and self-love and community, but not in that way like a don't worry, be happy, like is everything like, but more like all of this shit is going on out here, and in spite of that, here's this beauty. And I feel that when I see y'all rock a stage, when I bump into you in community, or when I'm stuck in traffic, between Portland and Centralia, and I get to hear coins for the third time, I get that positivity. So I just love that I get to sit down with folks and tell them that I appreciate their work, and then also hear what they think about creativity and what it can do for us as a people, as a community, and as individuals. So I love talking to y'all.
The feeling is mutual. I don't know if we paused again. If you saw Felicia get up, her mom called, so this is live, record.
That's important. Yeah.
Get up and talk to your mom. You better get up and talk to your mama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say a couple things around the teaching and mentoring piece that you and Felicia are talking about.
Yeah, please.
And one of the things that I learned a long time ago was the best teachers are also the best learners. Meaning that sometimes it's good to just be quiet and listen, observe, and if you pay attention and remember the signs and know the signs that you've experienced, or things that you've seen other people go through in life, and your job is to help guide a young person through, whether it's first grade or whether it's 11th grade, but your job is to guide them and prepare them for the next level of whatever that they're going to encounter in their life, then sometimes the best thing to do is to be quiet and listen. And so, I think there's some teachers that always believe that they're right. They always believe that they're giving somebody something and never getting anything. They become stained to the process of teaching because they start believing in the power of what a teacher is. Because it's a lot of responsibility, but it's also a lot of power. Because you could teach somebody wrong, give somebody some wrong information, and what that'll do in their life, and it'll affect them in a serious way. But like when Felicia was talking about giving room, like sometimes stand back and let the classroom be theirs. Majority of the time, let the classroom be theirs, and you're a participant. And your job is to make sure that they stay on the lines, to make sure that they get to the next level. How they get there may be different. So, how you learn is different. Some people like to be in front of people face to face. Some people like to be alone. Some people like to read. Some people want to hear it. Some people need to go through it. So how you learn is different. So if you allow that space in that room, then you allow them to really get an understanding of what they're learning, because they're teaching each other, and you're just guiding. You're guidance. You're supposed to be guidance. Not to say you don't get introduced to anything new. You're supposed to do that too. But you're also supposed to be guidance and not be like, I'm the be all, know all. Right? So I love those teachers that give space to right?
I agree. I feel like, if you're one of those teachers that's just, here it is, here's the lesson, you're drilling it, then especially in a creative field, when so much is about trying stuff and seeing how it works for you, and maybe inventing a new way to do so, all of that stuff. Like if I'm just drilling the skill, there's no room for anybody to explore that stuff. And so when somebody's not there giving them the writing prompt or the lesson, then it's sort of like a writer's block, or it's a creative block. But really, it's you just didn't allow that space for them to explore that way.
They're just disconnected because they don't know what to plug into.
Yeah.
What do I plug into? There's no prompt. or you're not giving me something to do. You're not guiding that way. You're allowing me to choose. Choice is very it's a big responsibility. You know, the choices you make are big responsibilities. And I think sometimes, you know, we act like choice is nothing but like, you know, multiple. Or you get to choose. Some of the choices you make, life or death. Some of the choices you make, freedom. You know what I'm saying? Some of the choices you make, you know, impact other people. It's not just about yourself, just by your choice. Right? We see that drunk driving. We see that through drug addiction. We see that through incarceration. We see that through homelessness. We see that. It's not just an individual's responsibility. It becomes communal. And by choices sometimes. Some say, well, they didn't have a choice. Well, some people, yeah, they're born into, you know, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. I'll say this. Once you know better, either you do better or you remain true to the same thing that you were brought up on. Yeah. But if I know something is good for me, I know it's good for me, and it can help people, and I choose not to do it just because that's what we looked at a certain way by the people I come from, then I need to start looking at what's my choice? Because I'm making a choice then too.
Yeah.
So choices play a big role in how, you know, outcomes. You know, we could go into all of that. But outcomes is ultimately what we're talking about with these young people. So, you know, if the job is to give them the real truth to how things are right now, per se, and well, if I get I'll change it, that's cool. But right now, this is how it is. So what you gonna do with it?
All right. That's what's up. I had a couple more questions, but this conversation has been better than any interview. So I just want to ask one. You know, we talked when we first started the conversation, and I was saying I've been hearing more and more. We've been hearing more and more about streaming revenue for music artists, and how it doesn't get to the people that's creating, and so knowing that, and knowing that live venues are still on their way coming back from the pandemic, you know, given the times that we're in, the internet age, in the pandemic, all these things, how can folks best support independent music artists like Black Stax? How you want folks to show up for you?
Well, you know, I love the live show. I'm gonna shake a hand, make a friend type of cat, sell the merchandise out the back of your trunk. You know what I'm saying? Get it after the show and meet me at the car. You know, I'm that person, you know, and I was telling somebody the other day, we made more money then. It's very interesting to me that we made more money then. But in this new era, I think the best way to do that is to find platforms, whether it's websites that the artists are running, and they're doing the self-manufacturing of the product and getting it out to you, or going to places like Bandcamp, where you're actually paying for the artist's material and not utilizing the Spotify's or the Tidals or the Apples or any of these streaming services, because with the streaming, what you're paying in the streaming services, you're not paying the artist for their work. You're paying the streaming service so that you can play the music. And the streaming service is giving an artist a cent, maybe 1 penny per stream. So every time somebody streams your music, you're getting like 1 penny per stream, right? But if you go to Bandcamp and the artist has just dropped a new project and they're charging you $11.99, you can actually pay the artist for the work that they did, for the artwork, for the studio time, for the beats, for writing the song, for putting it out there, for marketing the song, for promoting the song. That's where you support the artist, is making sure that the artist is receiving the funds, the currency, the money, the exchange for what it is that they are selling their product for, right? Because I was thinking about this the other day, like, you know, you got all these thousands and thousands of streams. The cat's is making $100.
Right.
I mean, how do you have 300,000 streams and you're making $3,000 at the very most, which you're not gonna make. You need about
Right.
more like 3 million streams. But you got 300,000 streams, you're getting $300.
Yeah, I mean, I think about that a lot. You know, when we expect folks to create art that we intake, consume, know and love sometimes, and then we expect them to make all of that after they work 9 or 10 hours at another job. You know what I mean? And be parents and live their life. You know, and I know I get home and I'd be tired. You know, I think I'm gonna get home and I'm gonna write the next great American novel. You know, whatever it is, like, and be exhausted, right, from working. So yeah, I think, you know, and nobody gets into art thinking they go get rich and famous. I mean, some people do, but that's not why we become artists, I think, most of the time. But it'd be nice if you could, you know, eat a sandwich with a salad on the side too, if you want, you know, rather than have to choose, right? Like,
but see, that's what I'm saying. It's like we become so programmed to think that, you know, I'm getting it fast, I'm getting it easy, I'm getting it. It's, you know, it's no issues, no problems. I'm just getting this because the value of art has been lost. The value of art has been lost. You know, it's like when people put on shows, the last thing they think about is paying the artist. Unless you're an artist that's going to pull in so much amount of revenue for them, right? These spaces, you know, these local spaces, you know. I talk about, you know, for me, more importantly, for because you asked what's the best way to support independent artists? Mm-hmm. I think it's supporting, you know, going and buying their stuff on a Bandcamp as opposed to just getting it off of Spotify and Apple Music. And that's cool. You know, I don't mind that. But if you're going to do that and you really support these artists, to make sure that the artist is getting fair exchange for the product that they're putting out, right? If they got a show, go to the show. You know what I'm saying? We don't do a lot of shows in the city for a reason, in the town for a reason. You know, because one, we don't want to put the strain on you. You know, every week you're doing a show, come get me money, come get. That kind of play out. But two, is also like respecting the audience and wanting to deliver something that's going to be memorable and valuable to them. Right? So when we do a show, come do a show. You know what I'm saying? You're going to catch us in the community. We from the community. We in the hood. You're going to around at an event. We're going to be somewhere else supporting people. And artists need to support other artists in the town. Yeah. You know, we talk about it a lot, but how many times do you see an artist that you're not in the same clique with and they have an event and you just show up? Right. You know what I'm saying? And just show up. Take a picture. You know what I'm saying? And put it on your Instagram, your social media. Act like you was there. But let's start supporting each other in a way where it's like, okay, artists are dropping material. Let's support that artist.
Yeah. And you know, I want to add, you know, with Timberland and Swiss Beats with the verses, artists supporting one another. You know, that thing of like, you know, I was watching Wikipedia. Wikipedia is now asking for donations for their information because they're finding that other corporations are trying to take over what it is that they're doing. So they're asking for that. So it's like you're asking for information, just like people are asking for music. They're asking for, you know, where they're going to find this. But we found that in times of, and it just happens, sometimes in times of turbulence, people find their best value in digging deep into finding out how they're going to survive. I think that Swiss Beats and Timberland found that, but they found it in the way how they could support each other and how they would support artists that they appreciate, and people pay for that. And so it's like, okay, so that is the like that support system, and like because we don't, how we don't have to always look to what we know as the norm. You know, Jace and I were talking about the new norm. The new norm is supporting one another. Artists have always had the power, but we have been conditioned to believe that we are less than the power and the creativity and the art that we give. Only because it is how America works. It's not something that is natural. The unnaturalness of how America works is just how the world falls into it, because there's a false belief of control. So, I think that, when you control, how you're going to be righteous with the people that have been supportive of you, and that will, the exchange, the currency of the currency of respect. The currency of respect is more valuable than the currency of money, because the money will come from that, or your exchange will come from that. What can I do for you that you do for me? And that's the exchange.
Right.
I think that there's that. That is, I think that drives harder than anything else.
And I think, for me, it's just hard to tell them, go buy our stuff. Like, I'm not one of the guys, right? We hustle, but we ain't hustling like that, right? It's kind of like, this is the quality and the things that you say you're looking for.
Yeah.
Here it is. And all we ask is for fair exchange. We don't ask for more, and we don't ask for less. If we're going to put out a product, it's going to be quality product. We want you to be able to play it riding up and down from here to Portland more than once. And be able to, I want to know that hook. I want to be able to us, that's currency.
Yeah.
That's fair exchange, right? So all we ask is that you go to Bandcamp and buy the stuff. That's all. That's the exchange. We don't need
a couple of lattes, right? That's all it is. A couple of lattes.
Right? And then those that believe in you, they're going to do more anyway, because there's a certain belief that they have of what you're doing. Like, the impact of this is bigger than what you're asking me. So when I talk to you and we thanked you for your contribution, right, to our product, you went above and beyond. It's not because we were doing an interview. That's who you are. That's what you represent, to say, I value this. And I value where, I'm going to get more from it than paying a few dollars. Right? So that's the exchange, though. But that, for us, that's a fair exchange. For you, that's a fair. So nobody walks away feeling like they got done. Oh man, he told me to go buy a product, and he marketed it so well. Then I went and bought the product, and I fast forwarded half the album.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like, everybody wins, right? Everybody wins.
Right? So then when the next product comes, you're like, okay, I can't wait till the next one. Right. Okay, good. Boom, they're going to do a lot. If I can get you, we're going to go to that. So it's like, when you're being asked respectfully to support an artist and not I'm trying to juke you into it. I'm trying to fluke you into it. I'm trying to get you by the, we just gonna give it to you real, authentic, raw, and honest, right? And be like, here, boom, this is who we are. So what we asking for you is to give us who you are in this exchange. And that's how I think the best way is to ask people to support independent artists like Black Stax. Because we're gonna make the moves, we're gonna make the connections. We just need the people to tap in. And once they tap in, then the world's gonna say, oh, we need the, and then you're gonna say, yeah, now there's balance. And see, that's the other thing too, is like, what's the balance? Is the balance moving like that and it's kind of shaky, or is the balance moving like that and it's solid? We just want people to be able to stand up tall, however they listen to the music, what they're getting from the music, and then just give us fair value for it, and we'll go on and keep it moving as long as we're blessed to do it,
Yeah. Well, keep doing. I hope the blessings last another, I don't know how long y'all been doing it, 20, 30, 25 years. Hey, I hope it lasts another 50 years at least, because I really appreciate this project. Coins, this mixtape is out. I love it. It just felt like coming home listening to that. So I really appreciate your work. And
I do this real quick, we give a shout out to a few folks around.
Oh yeah, please do.
I want to give a shout out to G Fields, who captured it, recorded it, mixed it, mastered it, put tracks on it. The half the tracks in G Fields. He had contributions from DJ Frequency, Jen Moore, who came in and played bass on River and played guitar on Manifesto. Then we had some other contributions from See No Good out in Florida, who's a producer who sent us some tracks. We had contributions from a consistent person who's always been sending us beats since we decided to move as Black Stax, as Rob Banks Beats. Okay. We had a producer named Flip Some Music who came in and did Ghost Cover Me. And so I just, I want to send love to them. I also want to send love to, we want to send love to DJ King Flo and the Mixtape Addict crew out in France for hosting it and doing a worldwide connection for us, because we feel like music is never local. It's always global. You can go anywhere, and as long as it's quality music, you can have a quality conversation.
That's right.
So we want to give love to DJ King Flo and the whole Mixtape Addict crew out there in France. And to everybody who tapped in and streamed the music, bought the music, looked us up, went to our pages, waved at us while we was on live, and just gives us good energy and shares energy with us. We want to thank you, let you know we appreciate that. We appreciate that, honestly. And we're just getting started. 2022 is going to be a busy year for Black Stax. It's going to be a worldwide year for Black Stax. New visuals, new travel, new journeys, new music. So everybody get ready. We ready to stay Staxin'.
See, all right, stay Staxin'. I was gonna tell folks, go cop the mixtape and the other projects. And if you're local, look out for the show. But it sounds like they don't even have to be local to Seattle to see a show in 2022. They might be coming to a corner of the globe near you. All right. Well, I appreciate you, Jace Ecaj and Felicia Loud of Black Stax. Thanks for sitting down with Build Art Break, and really, folks at home, go cop coins. You'll love it. You'll love it. Go ahead. Go check it out.
Thank you very much for having us as your guest. And, be safe and be prosperous.
Stay building.
Stay building. Appreciate you all. Talk soon.